Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are here. Wouldn't you love to live life, love life, enjoy life? Who would not want to? I mean, it's almost a rhetorical question, but we're going to provide those answers today and how you can do that. And she's got the skills. She's got the knowledge. Diane joins us from healingbodieshealingsouls.com. How you doing today, Diane?
Doing really, really well. I mean, isn't that what I'm supposed to be doing?
Yes. I just hope you're being truthful. And I know you are. Yes, absolutely. And you have not only a retreat center in Northern California, but you also do so many other things in terms of energy healing. Before we even get into loving life and living life and enjoying life, and that's really what we're going to talk about today. So I don't know why anybody would even go anywhere from this point, because I want to know the secrets. Tell us all some of the things that you do there at your center, aside from the retreats.
Okay, thank you. I've been doing this for over 30 years. So what I really love doing is meeting people on Zoom. It's recorded. They see me, I see them, and then they watch it afterwards, which gives them a deeper level of what's going on. So I listen to stories, listen to patterns, watch their energy, and like a music teacher, I correct, I shift and I change so that the rhythm of who they are sounds good to them, which will sound good to the world. So I'm shifting patterns and stories and vibes.
You must hear so many stories from people that you help.
Yeah. One gentleman, he flat out was suicidal. And in 5 sessions, he's like, I got it. He was able to pull himself out. One lady for over 2 years with medical tried to get pregnant. And in 4 months, she got pregnant with Noah. He's probably 8 years old now.
Wow.
So yeah, it's just beautiful, some of the things that we do in the energy world. And I want people to live, to enjoy this thing called life, to have a reason to get up and to excel. And to me, it's through energy. It's through life force energy. It just paves the way, makes it easier.
And you can do that virtually, right?
Absolutely. I can read people through you. I don't need you. I don't need your earth body in my office to be able to tap in and say hello to you. And I can actually go into your home and energetically clean it from where I am and where you are. You don't even have to be in your home.
Wow.
It's just fascinating. And I live what I teach. I've gone to a psychic surgeon where they've actually gone into my body with their hands. I've done it all. I love all this stuff.
And I'm pretty plugged into the metaphysical world, but that's a first for me.
Oh.
And also the space cleaning. Now I know that's done. I'll walk 5 feet over here and I'll have sage in my hand and a lighter, and I can, I do my own thing. But I didn't know that you could do that virtually, which is really super cool.
Yeah. Well, years ago I was in Arizona, and a friend of mine wanted to swing by her house, and her friend's house was haunted, was spiritually full. And my girlfriend tried 3 times to clean it. And each time it would leave and then instantly come back. So finally I said, can I jump in? And in less than 4 minutes, that house was 100% clean. I could actually relax and feel safe. Everybody else that was in that room felt the wave of clean show up, and it stayed. So I can do that in person, but I don't need my earth body to experience that motion. I can just go in and look around and see. We have more entities than earth bodies. We have more orbs than physical earth bodies on this planet. So it makes sense that rooms have spirits in them, and they can be healthy or they cannot be healthy. And a person's energy that is low is going to collect low vibrational entities. So that's why we want to keep our energy high. I want to I want to attract love and light and positive. Some people, that's why I wanted to work on just being happy, living and enjoying life and working through that space, because then you're a magnet for that. And then there's the people that are a magnet for negative. And I'll bet on them every day of the week that they're going to create a negative environment no matter where they are.
Yep. I totally agree. And there are times where, even during I had something happen just before we got on this podcast that happened. It was an email, looked online about something that I'm working on, and it was just like, really? And I'm like, let that go. Not a big deal. It's all gonna be fixed. It'll all be working out. It'll be why do I want to stay with that negative energy and that negative situation? Because it's all fixable. There's no issues. But we all have that knee jerk reaction where we're just like, let it go. Take a second. Don't send that email. Wait on it. What's another, 15 minutes, half hour, 2 hours, whatever. You go back. Half the time, I don't even send that email out. I'll just hit delete. It just needed to vent it out. And we all go through it. We're all human, right?
Yeah. We have the highs and the lows that keeps us alive.
Sure.
But at work, at home, especially, I want to have clean energy so that I am sending off clean energy to anybody that's in my home.
Mm-hmm.
My children are desperate for that. And so it really is me taking charge of who I am. It keeps me energetically clean. It keeps me much happier, healthier. The body doesn't age so fast. I'll be 60 in September. And
you look great.
Thank you. And I have just so much life force energy. I work on it though.
So I want to ask you a question. I don't mean to cut you off. When's your birthday? September
19th.
Mine's September 2nd.
Virgos.
And we'll be the same age.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it really is taking responsibility. I've had to clean up a lot of my past. I've had to clean up my childhood like everybody else.
Sure.
But I've done the work to reap the benefits. And it's an everyday practice. The body needs it. I just had a session with a lady that's basically our age. Her back is just messed up. And I'm looking at her going, what's your stress? She's like, I don't have stress. I said, you can't tell me that if your body's this tight. And I said, so finally, just calm down. For this hour, it's just you and I, nothing else exists. And then she started to unwind. She started to relax. I saw it in her energy body, her earth body, her emotional body. Where so many people are used to elevation, being too tight, being too knee jerk, needing something. And if this moment doesn't need any more than you and I'm 100% complete with just you and I.
Yeah.
I don't need anything more.
So what are some of the ways that we can live life to the fullest, enjoy life to the fullest, love life? I mean, we're talking about a lot of it right now, but what are other suggestions, tips that you have?
So meditation is always powerful. And I teach it online Wednesday night, 7 to 8:30, beyond powerful. It's also focused on who you are in the room, not who everybody else is in the room, and have responsibility for how you are and what your mental game is. It's also not accumulating throughout the hour, the week, the month of everything that has been done wrong, but look for the positive, look for what's really going right. Because if there's a negative, I can find a positive. And if there's a positive, we can find a negative. And that tells me everything about how that person is wired, how that person is programmed. If they're looking for a positive, if they're looking for a negative. And I've had to, with work, learn to find the positive, learn to accept the light, learn to enjoy life. If I had 4 or 5 kids here, and it's like, kids stop playing and eat, kids stop playing and clean up, we're teaching our children to stop playing. And as adults, I want to play. So kids, while you're playing, finish up your lunch. Hey kids, let's play in the art of cleaning. And it keeps them lighter. It keeps them brighter. It keeps them happier compared to stop enjoying yourself. We got to get to work.
Well, guess what? That's a negative. Stop.
I know.
Stop.
I
Don't do
know.
that. It's the same thing. We're taught to be negative
Yeah.
from babies. Think about that toddler. That baby finally gets to sit up, is at the table, and then reaches for something.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, don't touch that. The baby's just looking, wants to, explore their world. They don't know any better. And you just taught them a negative. We
Bingo.
just told them, don't do that. Don't touch that. Don't do that. Don't do that. And now you just created that cycle of negativity, and it's in their minds. And, moving past that as adults, do you feel, Diane, that a lot of us feel guilty about being positive? Like we don't deserve to be positive?
Yeah. That we're not doing it right. We're not adulting. That we have to be serious. And that is a lower vibration. And a higher vibration is going to serve us quite a bit. So I've done a lot of things in this lifetime. And when I show up humble, kind, nice, then I'm going to get that back. I do a lot of retreats, and I go to a lot of retreats. I love all this stuff. And so when I go, I want to be of service. When I have my retreats here, I want to be of service. And most people are too selfish nowadays to be of service, but they sure want service. So that's the first step. How can I be of service?
Yep.
And then I'll get it back.
I think a lot of people don't realize when they volunteer or at service, how it's going to make them feel. And I've always been that way. I've always wanted to help people out, but now in my life, on my journey, more than ever, I want to help. And I could be just walking through a parking lot and somebody's carrying something. I'm the first guy. Hey, can I help you out with that? I don't do it for myself, but it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And I also believe that person and let's say myself in that situation, it wasn't coincidence. There's a reason. There's, and I've seen the signs where, I ran into somebody and then months later, something transpired and there was a reason why we were connected and I helped you carry a box somewhere.
Yeah. It's a level of being of service. This life is not necessarily just about me, that I feel good being able to support somebody, to give them a helping hand, to feel like they're important.
Right.
Now, I know for myself, I'm exceptionally important to myself. And if I'm in a room of 3 people or 100 people, I am the most important person in that room to me. So I will make sure that I am fully taken care of. If I need some water, I'll go get it. If I need to go to the restroom, I'll go get it. If I need a pen, I'll make it happen. And so many people will just sit there not taking care of themselves. So the more that you take care of yourself, the more you have to offer. It just makes sense.
Yep. It's so true. And that's I don't want to say I've made mistakes in my life, but they're lessons. But one of the major ones is I didn't take care of myself up until about a year ago. And I'm still trying to do more for myself. I know, and I don't want that to sound selfish, but that's what needs to happen.
Okay. And let me question that word. What's wrong with being selfish? Maybe that word can be safe right now.
Well, it depends on how you define that word.
Right,
Self, need to take care of self. Yeah. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Hey, we have a question on instant feedback. You can reach us instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com. Kara is in Gainesville, Florida. So I guess she was talking about space cleaning. And she says, I'm moving after a divorce and I'm keeping some of the furniture, but feel it has negative energy attached to it. How do I make sure that it's energetically cleaned?
Yeah. For her, it's not negative energy, it's pain energy. And that's what stopped the relationship from growing. So when the furniture goes out the door, it goes through a doorway, a pathway. And as I take this couch out through the doorway, anything that's not of service to me is released, and it is going through the doorway clean.
Okay. All right. I would always wonder, I'd be the guy with the Windex. You know, whatever. Only
But
because, but if you
you're
say,
still attached.
okay, well, I would be thinking that there's energy still within whatever it is, whatever. And, but if you're saying it's just
There is energy attached to it, but it's the energy that she can receive that is for her highest light. She's leaving the negative energy
okay.
in that room, in that environment.
So maybe, you know, we have to define here, maybe it's emotional energy that's still attached to it.
She has the ability to be that powerful, to release what is not serving her and go and have it go through the doorway of energy that will serve her. So yes, that couch will still have energy, but energy that will serve her, not the old.
Gotcha. And it's funny you should say that word serve. I have a really good friend. I've known her since I was like 17, and she's, you know, she's a therapist as well. Used to double date with my best friend and her friend, you know, again, when we were like 17, 20, whatever. And I always, you know, but we haven't even talked in years. We just text. And she said something within my journey was so clear about a year and change ago, the word serve. Talked about some people, situations, and she said, they don't serve you anymore. And at first I'm like, oh. And then I thought about it. It's like, you're right. And it's not a bad thing. They just don't serve my life anymore. It's time to move past that. And
Well,
sometimes we
it's
don't.
to not have hold space for it, is to release it. You don't have those clothes that you're wearing when you were 17, 19. You release those. It's the same as let's release stories that don't serve us. So we have room for stories of present time truth.
Sure. Well, that's an interesting way to look at it. There's only so much capacity.
Present time truth.
Yeah.
I'm not, because I used to play really good softball, but nobody wants me on their team today. So even a good story doesn't serve me. I will release that story. I am who I am today. And when I really look at the truth of who I am today, then there's some things that will need to be cleaned and understood and released. And then there's some things that I can continue to grow. It's just being in the here and now and owning who I am. And a lot of people want to hide if they don't like something. And you can't really hide from yourself, but they do.
Mm.
Some people say, oh, I'm healthy. And I scan their body and I'm like, yeah, no possible way.
Wow.
And then when they really, really look at what is in the now, that's why they were hiding. They can't accept truth. But they can still clean it. They can still change it. They can still become who they want to be. But it has to start from here. Not from 20 years ago, not from 30 years ago. If I went to the gym today, I wouldn't be able to lift like I did 20 years ago. But I could, and so many people feel like I'm not doing a good job. And it's like, no, I'm doing an excellent job right now with who I am right now. Minus the ego, minus the judgment. It's just going to look different because I am a completely different person than where I was 20, 30 years ago. I will not compete with a person that's 20 years younger than me. And I'm not going to compete with a self of me that was 20 years ago. I'm setting myself up for failure.
Interesting. And you have to continue on the path to your example. Yeah. Back in August, I think I was in the best shape I've been in like 20 years. I really mean it. I mean, I took care of myself. I really kicked it in, kind of derailed a little bit, gained like 10 pounds. And if I've been to the gym, maybe supposed to go today, never made it. Maybe once in the last 6 weeks, I hit the gym for a number of different reasons. And I feel they're valid. I feel so much different that I went back, took steps back because I didn't continue on that path. And I think it's kind of the same way in terms of moving your life forward, where you just got to keep moving it forward. Don't take the steps back because then you have to restart and you got to keep moving forward again.
It's, who do I choose to be today? I want accountability. I want to enjoy today. I want to enjoy my future. I want to be light energy. And so what am I going to do today to feed that? And some people will feed the negative. It really is that simple. But so many people don't know that they're feeding the negative. They come up with excuses. They come up with reasons. It's like they don't have enough money. It's like, we'll go get another job. Oh, I can't because, and it's like, Yes, you can. Go start saving money. Oh, you don't understand. I can't. And so they have all these excuses to stay in a negative. I start questioning that. In present time truth, is that fully correct? That you can't get another job? That not one other person's ever going to hire you in this lifetime? Well, yeah, no. I said, okay. So now we opened up that window. One guy came into my office years ago and he said, I've been looking for a job for three months. Nobody's hiring. I laughed at him and I said, in the Bay Area of California, in 1 month, there has to be over 10,000 people that have been hired, and you're only looking for one job. Your mental game is taking you out. I said, sit down, let's get you a job. And he actually got one within a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're saying I can't get a job, nobody's hiring,
You're not going to get a job.
That bingo.
Yeah. And
your mental game is everything.
Oh, it's the mindset. It's the, and if you're listening and saying, it's just bunk, look at those two people talking. What do they even know? Try it. Be
Bingo.
positive. Continue. And you know what? I'll even show you. This is the screensaver on my phone, and my friend made this, and it's going to be reversed probably when I show it to you. But if you look right here, it says conquer. Oops, went off there. It says conquer, because that's what I'm going to do. And that's my plan. Whatever it is. And there's different things in my life that I want to conquer, but I am going to do that. And inside, and I know it sounds maybe kind of cocky, I don't have a doubt. That's going to happen.
You can 100%. What I would suggest, a soft suggestion would be, conquer feels like it's going to have to be a major thing. If I have to conquer something, it just sounds intense. I'm just going to receive what I want.
Well, that's also part of it. I'm going to, I don't see it as like conquer. I don't see it that way. Me, it's, conquer this situation, I'm going to move past it. That's my visual. My example is, I call them speed bumps. In life, we have speed bumps. So it's not a mountain, just got to go over the speed bump, up onto the next one. Oh, there's another one, over that one. No problem. Just move it on forward. Not a big deal. Yeah, everything's subjectionable. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. You might think the word conquer is like so momentous. Like, how is he ever going to ever do that? It's the little things that you want to conquer too.
Okay.
So I want to, Diane, I want to get into the real quick, the energy part. Okay. When you talk with somebody, when you connect with somebody, whether they are in person or virtually, you really do pick up on their energy.
I look at their chakras, their aura, their energy, and it tells me everything about them. If I showed you a bunch of recipes, it's like, okay, banana bread, taco salad. And once we look at your chakras, your aura, your energy, it's your recipe. Then we'll look at it and go, well, of course you are who you are. Look at your recipe. And then we start shifting out the energy that's not working, that's outdated, that was never your energy. And then that's when you have room to bring in new energy that will serve you and who and what you want to be from this moment on. But until you understand the energy that you run, it's very difficult to shift out of it. And a lot of times it's trauma. Years ago, one older gentleman, gray-haired guy, he said, I don't believe in any of this, but I want you to work with me. And so I went into his third chakra and I said, something happened so traumatic at the age of 3 years old that you've never advanced. And he stopped me and said, that's when I went to my first orphanage. And I'm like, well, that would do it. And one lady would come and I said, wow, I touched her, just her shoulder. And I'm like, whoa, you have abandonment issues. Let's work on it. And she burst into tears. I said, what do the tears want to say? And she said maybe a sentence and a half. And I said, okay, stop, I got it. And then I just read everything through her.
Wow.
And so you are your own energy field, as we know. But until you realize what energy you are really working in, you don't know. And I go in and I show them really who they are on an energy level. Take out the negative, take out the poor me, take out the family. Because one lady, I looked at her and I said, this is a lot of lineage. Let me just release the lineage. One guy came to me, he had Bell palsy for 22 months. Normally it's about 5-7 days. And I looked at him, didn't even touch him. And in less than 30 minutes, he was feeling tingling. His eyes stopped weeping because that's what it did for 22 months. And he said his speech cleared up because it was no longer numb. And I said, perfect. It was a past life thing. It was this, this, and this. And now that it's over, you'll be fine. Go get one of those TENS machines and build up the facial muscles because you don't have Bell palsy anymore. And he's just like, oh. He's like, you're right. I'm like, I know. No, I know I'm right. Isn't it cool?
Amazing. No, it's totally cool. Yeah. And I've never had I'll be honest, I'm into metaphysics, never had a Reiki session, believe in all of it. I've seen it. I've spoken to people. I trust in it. Aware of chakras, never had a rebalancing. I will say this real briefly. Last week I was hypnotized.
Good.
And I knew where I wanted to go. And I went back to my childhood and I knew things that I wanted to address. Just a different modality, it could be energy healing. It just happened to present itself in front of me. I was like, all right, let's try this. Very beneficial in terms of connecting from then to now. And like you just said, childhood dictates a lot, of your past, where you are now. And I'm sure I need some major energy cleaning at the same time, but it felt good.
Yeah, I believe everybody does. And so much of it can be past lives, and you may understand it or not understand a past life, but if it shows up for information and it just dials in and it makes sense, then yeah, let's call it a past life. There's entities that show up. One lady, she was wanting to get rid of smoking. Her second session, I can't believe I smoke. And I looked at her and I said, oh, well, hello there. I started talking to an entity that was attached to her that was the smoker. I got rid of him. She walked out, never remembering that she smoked or ever even thought about smoking again.
Wow. All right. And I'm just starting to skim the surface on past life, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's for another time. We should talk about that because. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Tell everybody your website again, Diane, and what somebody can do when they reach out to you, how it works and how they get connected and healed.
So my website is healingbodieshealingsouls.com. My business is Healing Bodies, Healing Souls, because you want to bring them both up at the same time. You want to work the left side and the right side equally. Go to my website. You can have a consultation on phone or on Zoom. I like Zoom because I'm more of a people person. Mm-hmm. And then we can talk about the different modalities that I would suggest that is needed. Can I fix anything? I really believe I can. I really believe I can. People have gotten rid of cancer after working with me, and it's their body releasing it. But I can guide them to that one that doesn't have the cancer. One lady couldn't meet a guy to save her soul, and now they're living together trying to have a baby and will be getting married. And so your story of I can't find anybody or nobody's hiring, that's just telling me the energy of what you're running. I go in and heal that energy, release that energy. The story is no longer there. And now I embed the story that you want. It's very easy to get hired. Well, it's very easy to find somebody that you're in agreement with. You've just got to speak that truth inside so that you can experience in the outside world. Yep.
And like we said, it is the law of attraction. If you're putting out that energy that you're not going to find a job, I'm never going to meet anybody. You're not. It's just people read your energy. You don't know what's going on. It's not just your facial expression. You could walk around with a smile and, be the hottest guy or girl around. You are putting out that energy. You're going to meet people that aren't the right person for you. You're going to find a job that's not the one that you should be at, that showcases your talents, because it's all about your energy. And that's why somebody should reach out to somebody like you, Diane. It's
well, then they find out that that they can be happy, because so many people don't realize that they can be.
Yeah.
So many people don't realize that they can get gifts. It's because they have conditioned themselves to stay in a lower vibration. And that is just life. And they just want to suck that up. And I'm like, there's so much more. There's health, there's life, there's love, there's happiness. There, just be in a space of grooviness and like who you are in this moment. And you may want to change, and you may want to have more and more and more and better and better and better. And that's fine. It's finding peace within you right now.
Absolutely. I don't want to use the term stuck in a rut, but that's the one we all understand. But maybe you're stuck in an energy rut. That'd be the problem. Great talking with you, Diane. We're way over time, but that's okay. And learn a lot when we get together, and I look forward to catching up again. And just let's remember, love life, live life, enjoy life. That's what it's all about.
Really?
Yeah.
You're right.
Groovy. Haven't heard that in a while, and I love it. And by the way, I have a 14-year-old daughter, and I'm just going to say this: the 70s are back. If you look at the clothes, the 70s are back. She just got a whole bunch of stuff she's putting up on her wall. I'm like, do you realize that is all artwork from the 70s? And I started scrolling through my phone, and there's a band called Yes, and we're a very popular rock band. Look at the album covers here on my phone. It's the same stuff that she's putting up. So yeah, pretty groovy.
It is.
Yeah, it really is. All right, we'll talk next time. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you can now listen live on the MyTuner Radio and online Radio Box apps for iOS, Android, and the Amazon App Store. Or check us out online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on onlineradiobox.com/US so you don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.